Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. This is Dipen from Pune, and in front of me I have my own Dominar and this Himalayan 450 for a quick review. This bike has been with me for almost 10 days. I've covered around 7 to 800 kilometers on the Himalayan. Now this particular video is coming out only because a few of the subscribers had asked me, had put in some questions like to compare it with the Dominar, as I'm a Dominar owner and as I had this Himalayan with me. So please don't take things personally. Some might find the 450 better in some cases, some might find the Dominar better in some cases. So again, nothing personal in this particular vlog, just a caution warning to you guys. This is just a feedback of all the ride that I did with the Himalayan and my ownership with the Dominar. So this is just based out of that. Again, I love both the bikes. If I had a lot of money, I would have both of them in my stable, but my verdict will come at the end of this video. Both the bikes are capable of a lot of things. Dominar has been here in the market since quite long, but of course we don't have a lot of updates on it. It's been the same model, almost same model since 2019, except for the addition of touring accessories from Bajaj last year. Now again, starting with the main point, off-roading. The Himalayan is really well equipped for off-roading because of these big chunk of wheels on the front. It has got a massive 21-inch with spoke wheels. Again, spokes are there at the back too, and Dominar lacks that because it's got only mag wheels and both are 17-inch. So again, some would be comfortable doing basic off-roading on this one, but comparatively this one has got a better suspension setup, better travel, better tires and spoke wheels. So this one gets a plus from me for that section. Again, if you compare core Himalayan with something like Xpulse, Xpulse will obviously beat Himalayan because of the lightweight. Ask me which is a better tourer on the Indian road conditions compared to the Dominar. I would surely pick the Himalayan. It glides through everywhere. It has got a very good suspension compared to the Dominar. Even the pillion seat, I had put a top box here which is occupying almost the rear 1/4 of the seat. So my wife was still very comfortable on this particular seat, mainly not because of the seat construction. The seat construction is nice for sure, but because of the overall suspension setup. We were gliding over speed breakers, potholes, bad roads, undulations. You can check out my previous vlogs, episode 2 and 3, and there'll be two more episodes coming out soon. I took the bike to Mathiran too, so their ghat section also my wife was really comfortable as pillion. Even for the rider, the front seat is much more comfortable. I've set it to the lowest height possible. I'll show you that how to do. But comparatively, Dominar has got a slightly stiffer suspension. But advantage with Dominar is that it sticks to the road. It stays planted on the road with the kind of weight it has. This, Himalayan used to bit dodge around sometimes. And crosswinds also, I would prefer the Dominar because this being slightly softer suspension, it used to, I feel, because of that, used to glide around very easily. The weight of the bike does not make it feel planted on the ground while riding. Ground clearance, you can see Dominar is much lesser than the Himalayan. There's a straight match that this is a easy winner. Look at this size over here, and this won't even come close. Speaking about engine punch, the Dominar is much more punchier engine. It is much more fun to ride. This is calm and I would say relaxed riding up to 4,000 RPM. After 4,000 RPM, this would give you a little bit of punch and you would enjoy that. Vibrations, I would say both the bikes are equal in vibrations. It's not that the Himalayan did not vibrate at all. I did feel vibrations in the levers, in the front foot pegs, both the sides, and there was one niggling issue. This thing was vibrating a lot throughout, but again, number plates and all is all external. It can happen in this particular bike too. It used to vibrate in my bike too, so I've put these bolts now instead of rivets that come originally from the company in any bike. Those who love punchier engines and want to do good top ends, easily want to reach top ends like 130, 140, Dominar is your bike. Those who want a calm ride, a relaxed ride, the Himalayan would be your engine. Weight of the bike, I would say a loaded Dominar, you would feel heavy compared to a loaded Himalayan. So I was always traveling on the highways with my wife and a top box with my laptop box inside, and I had one additional bag which was kept between me and my wife. I couldn't put a tank bag here because this is quite sloped. The tank bags that I have are not compatible with this thing. This is a comparatively flat tank, so you can easily put a tank bag here. And I usually travel with a top box here too. All my bikes have top box. So overall, with the additional weight also, this particular bike felt light, nimble to handle. Again, the turning radius on this particular bike on the Himalayan is much lesser, and I was able to pass through traffics or take tight turns very easily on the Himalayan compared to the Dominar. The way on the Dominar, I do need to use Figo float, and on the Himalayan, I did around 500 kilometers without Figo float. It was drives up to Bombay and back, rides up to Bombay and back, and Mathiran and back. And that is all because of the super soft suspension, super absorbing suspension, and these spokes. Usually, spokes, they absorb the certain jerks, certain bumps more than the mag wheels. They are kind of flexible. So but that adds to the maintenance also. So when you have spoke wheels, you need to get these tightened quite often based on the number of off-roads or bad roads you travel on. So speaking about the saddle height, Dominar is much lower compared to the Himalayan. Now in Dominar, I can flat foot very easily. Even if I'm not wearing any footwear, I can flat foot very easily. And the riding position, I had to put in risers. There are 2-inch risers on my bike from Zana. So to get the handle a little more closer to me, I had to put in risers. But in the Himalayan, uh, the stock seat height is around 825. I couldn't flat foot. I had to tiptoe, and along with that, even after lowering the seat, I am not able to easily flat foot. I mean, if I remove the footwear, I have to little, my heel is a little higher. But if you're wearing riding shoes and you lower the seat height to the lowest possible, which is 805, you should be able to flat foot and ride very easily. Again, no risers were required over here. The stock handlebar mount or the position is really great. In my case, I'm 5'10". Now, in one particular video, I guess some of one of the blogger has said that it is the side stand is too much bent in case of Himalayan, but nowhere in this 700-800 kilometers that I rode around in the city or with pillion on highway, I did not find any issue with the side stand. I mean, in the sense, the bike is not heavy to lift. You can easily take it off the stand. There is no issue as such. Uh, there are much more heavier bikes than this. I've ridden the TRK also. Everyone knows that I have a TRK. That is in fact much more heavier to lift. Of course, the weight of that bike is around 250. That is much more. But in case of Dominar also, if it is loaded, of course I had to put the side stand razor, but to some extent, even this is easy to lift. So there is no issue as such when the side stand is bent so much. Of course, you would want it a little more upright, but when you make it a little more upright, you have a risk of bike toppling over when the surface is uneven and your side stand is a little more higher than normal. So overall, wherever I parked this bike, wherever I took it, it was not at all any issue for me in all the circumstances. Now, braking in the Himalayan, I took it at 420 kilometers on the Odo, if you guys have seen the first vlog, and braking is top notch in this bike compared to our Dominar. Even when I'm traveling on the highways, when I'm loaded, my pillion is there, stuff is loaded on the bike, the braking was way too much better than what we have as stock on the Dominars. And what I've heard is this particular bike or the Himalayans get sintered brake pads, so the grip on the front, especially, is really awesome. The Seats, I would feel we need a little more stickier rubber in certain cases on tarmac, but by default, if you're going to plan to use this first set of tires for the first 10,000 kilometers or so, this is going to be not an issue. You're going to be brake easily and going to have good control. I don't do much corner, but some corners I was able to bend around easily, not much, but maybe I was at an inclination of 10 to 15 degrees, like from the center 10 to 15 degrees I had inclined with the pillion. It was all right. Beyond that, it didn't give much confidence to me. Usually I don't lean, even on the Dominar I don't lean much, so I'm usually a straight rider. Again, because of this tall tire, 21-inch tire, and a little thin profile, I guess that makes the steering column overall lighter for you to handle in tight situations, like heavy traffic or tight city roads or something. So even gravel, this makes it handling much better compared to your DOMs. Now, refinement levels, when you want to compare overall, I would still say I think Dominar is a little better. Even the 2022 Dominar or the 2023 Dominars are much better in compared to Himalayan. The initial kilometers that I rode when I started riding it, this had a lot of vibrations on the footpeg and everywhere. But those vibrations have come down as I've touched almost 1100 kilometers now. Sorry, 1111 kilometers now. Yes, it is 1148. So the vibrations are going down. I'm assuming after the first oil change, the vibrations will still come down. But overall, this is still a punchy, refined engine in case of Dominar. Even if you compare Speed 400 or the Scrambler 400 with that, you would love to, people who like to have a punchy engine or a refined engine, you would love the Speed 400. But again, I'm not sure if it is the problem of this particular bike or it is going to be there in general in all Himalayans. I would request you to test ride both the bikes simultaneously on the same day, and then also let me know your feedback in the comments. Talking about a bit, a little more negative about the bike. I did not like the mirrors. The throw from this is really, really bad. Half the time you don't see things behind because the overall diameter is smaller. Your hand also comes in between. If you're wearing a riding jacket, that also obstructs when seeing from these mirrors. Company does provide a charger, but again, this is a Type C charger, so you'll have to specially buy cables from Type C to any other gadget. If you have a Type C gadget, port gadget, then this would be easy. Like you can buy a Type C to Type C, but if it is other port, then you have to buy special cables for everything. This usually gets that big charging port over here. I've removed it right now because mine was pretty slow. I'm not using that. I have to put something else. So otherwise, this is from the regular USB to Type C to any other port. It is easily available. Cables are easily available and cheaper to have. There is no tail light in the bike. I did not like that concept personally. I always would want a separate tail lamp which would be lit all the time, just in case this indicators one of them breaks or something. It will be difficult for the person behind to understand what is happening, whether I'm braking, whether I'm turning, and so on. And also, if your indicator breaks, you'll have to immediately put it, because there'll be no tail light on one side in that case. Whereas in case of other regular bikes, we have three lights behind, two for indicators and one for tail lights. Ari could have easily integrated a small tail light in this particular number plate light itself. In the dark, the brake light, I mean the parking light and the indicators do lit up really well, and this is how the brake works. The stock top rack given by RE is really strong. It is MS made compared to the ABS type material that we have in Dominar and the stock Dominar 2022. This one I was able to use the stop box for more than 500, 600, maybe more than 700 kilometers very easily on this bike without any hassles with my laptop bag inside it. Weight overall on this top box must be around, on the top rack must be around 5 to 7 kgs that I usually carried during all this time. There's a separate video coming out for this particular installation, so don't miss that out. This particular bike comes with, I mean, Himalayan comes with a main stand. I hardly had to use it. I used it only once to change the lube before I left for Mumbai. But again, it's a plus point, and this did not rattle anywhere on the highway on any of the potholes. It never came out. It never bumped. It never rattled. It never, did up and down. No such issues at all. Sadi guard is also a nice chunky big one. If it's of any use to anyone, it's a good installation by RE. Broader footpegs are a welcome. This is a good fitment by RE. They're not as they're not very broad. They're not very narrow. So in between, but it's a good option given by RE. Good installation given by RE. The pillion one is all metal, but again, this one did not vibrate at all. So my wife was super comfortable using this as pillion. You get these small handles to tie the bike, while transport and all, or to tie some luggage over here as default. So again, a good point by RE. There is no standard crash guard on the bike, so that will come as a little negative. But of course, RE does provide it as a spare, as an option, so you can purchase it before taking the delivery. Splash plate is all plastic, but unless you want to go off road, I don't think you need a metal one, because as it is, this is already much higher than usual. RE has provided nice protection on the front for the front suspension. It has got nice fork covers over here, which is integrated with the mudguard, and this plastic one does not vibrate or wobble at any speeds at all. This particular front mudguard front fender did keep wobbling a bit, but it was not a nuisance. It did not make any noise or something. But in future, it might break in the long run, is what I feel, because it has got no metal plate or metal support over here. If I was to get this particular bike, I would add metal support over here so that it rattles less and it would never break. Now, Radiator, I guess, is almost the same size as Dominar, is what I feel. Even the KTMs have the same size. It has got a plastic radiator cover over here, and it has got fins to divert air inside on both the sides. This one has this way, the other one has inside. So a good thing. Centered, it is almost flat, and I guess stones and all won't direct affect in the center, won't hit the radiator directly in the center. But here, small pebbles can enter inside. Same is the case in case of Dominar. It has got a stock one has got fins from the top, so stones are likely to enter. So usually people change to something in metal, which is what I've also done. And RE does have an optional accessory, so you can opt for that. These are really helpful guards or frames, I would say. Invictus would be coming out with a new design of the frame bags very soon, compatible for Himalayan 450, and I'll make a vlog for it soon. You don't get any such attachment in stock Dominar. Of course, mine has got an Explorer kit, but in stock Dominar too, you don't get any such frames. Stock headlight, though I felt the Dominar is much better. I've ridden it for so much long. This one needs a certain adjustment, which you can do from here. This particular light right now is going way above the ground, so I'll be doing a quick video on it separately. It will be a 1 minute video. Here, the adjustment is very difficult. It is behind the headlight, and you need to search the screw in case of stock headlight, which is mounted on the front fork itself. It is not easily accessible, but this particular adjustment is very easily accessible. You can do it on the fly while riding. Suppose you pick up someone as pillion on the way, you can, and the headlight goes up. That time you can quickly take off the toolkit and do the adjustment very easily. Stock windshield is small, I would say, and there's quite a good wind blast on the chest. People wanting to put bigger ones can do it because this is quite a strong mount. Of course, the stock windshield on Dominar now also comes as big one. Uh, the stock, the 2022-2023 Dominar windshield has airflow coming just below your neck usually when you're riding at speeds of 80 or 100. Of course, mine is the Explorer kit, so it is a little more taller. Usual one comes over here in 2022-23. Mine is up to here. There are no adjustable levers in the bike for the brakes or the clutch, but these levers do give a much better grip than the stock Dominar. They are quite thicker over here. These ones are quite thin. I have not been able to do a detailed vlog on what all comes in this particular Speedo because some things are not working. I need to get back to the workshop and RE workshop and get this thing verified, and then I'll be able to do a detailed video on that. Bar ends should have been a little more broader to give overall a smoother ride on the handle, because this particular bike did give some vibes in the handlebar. Not that our Dominar doesn't have vibrations in handlebar. To some extent, it does have. Fuel efficiency wise, 2000 Dominar by default used to give me 30-32 without any additional iridium plug or any air filter or special oil or something. This one gives me 30-32 now after all the additional stuff that I've done on it. But the Himalayan easily gives you 32, 30-32 without anything changed in it uh, in terms of spark plug, engine oil, or air filter and all. So while coming back from Matharan, I did show the speedo. On an average, when I was doing just 2,500 RPM in the 6th gear, around 50 to 70 speed, this was showing a very good fuel efficiency of 40, 45 and all. So on an average, this would turn around to be 35 to 30. If you ride smoothly up to 70, 80, 90, this would be much fuel efficient bike than a better fuel efficient bike than the Dominar. Overall, if you ask me to pick one bike from the two, I would pick this one because uh, ride comfort is more important for me. It is much better compared to Dominar. The Himalayan is much better. Only major negative for me is no tubeless setup right now. So this is a very big negative for me. I wouldn't want to get stranded on highways because of having tube tires and because of having a flat very easily. When you're speaking of the tires, you're surely going to need a big tire hugger over here because otherwise it's going to spill up the rear very easily. That's where my specialty comes. I've got tire huggers for Dominar also. You can check out detailed vlogs on it in my channel. With that said, I'll end the vlog here. If I've missed out any points in any of the vlogs, you can put in the comments and I'll try to answer them at the earliest. Thanks for watching. Don't take this video personally. It was my views, my feedback based on my writing styles. See you in a new video very soon. Like, share, subscribe.
Go, 'cause I've forgotten mine. They've slipped out of my control, and you know where they hide. Your love's a little heavy, you're touching me already, and it's working up my nerves.